Hello and welcome back to Mac at the Movies. I got my nice hot cup of coffee here. I let it cool down this time. I always go right in for it when it's piping hot and I burn myself. I'm impatient. I want the hot coffee now. The hot coffee doesn't want me, but I want it. And so the coffee's not ready and it burns me. I should have known better, but alas, we're here. I let it cool down this time, and now I can sip without burning the skin off my tongue. So, today I will be bringing you a review on the film Urban Legends Bloody Mary, or as it's unofficially known, Urban Legends 3 Bloody Mary. I wanted to state that because there were some sources that advised that was the unofficial title that a lot of people just call it. So, unofficially, officially, it's both names. Anywho, this was released July 19th, 2005 by Sony Pictures and directed by Mary Lambert. She had also directed Pet Sematary 2, Halloween Town 2, completely different movies. One is not for children. Anywho, she also directed an episode of Tales from the Crypt. And if anyone out there likes Tales from the Crypt, now you know. One of those was directed by her. This film stars Kate Mara as Samantha, Tina Lefford as Grace. I have to stop to pronounce this name properly. It's Ed Marinaro. That's one I have to practice and still struggle with. Ed Marinaro. Boom, got it. He plays Bill. Robert Vito plays David. Nancy Everhard plays Pam. And the one and only Rooney Mara plays Classroom Girl number 1. When I was looking into this movie at first, I saw that she was in it, and I love Rooney Mara and just about anything I've seen her in. Sometimes she plays a role that I'm not very fond of, but she does a great job at it. So that's what actors are supposed to do. They're supposed to be able to portray different characters. In this one, she plays a girl sitting in a classroom. I literally saw that, and I was just like, I guarantee it just pans by her, and she says something, and the camera moves on. And that's pretty much what happened. So she had like 3 or 4 seconds in the movie saying something snippy about another girl, and then another girl told her to shut her mouth. So this film starts out in the 1960s at a football homecoming dance. 3 of the football players decide they want to play a prank on their dates. They want to, whatever, the equivalent of a roofie was for that time. They decided to give them all, roofies, and they were going to, put them in some weird position, maybe tied up somewhere, and, to wait to wake up. And they just planned to do it as a prank. There was nothing malicious to my knowledge that I can think of, but it all sort of goes awry. The girl Mary, she ends up seeing what was going on. She didn't drink her drink, so she wasn't affected by it, and in a manner of being scared, starts to fight back and run away. Her date chases her, and in the pursuit, trying to get her to come back, she's still afraid, and he knocks her out unconscious, finds out that he killed her, and so he hides the body before somebody comes and finds out what had happened. He tells his friends that she got away, doesn't know what happened to her, and 40 years later, you have, where we're sitting current day, and, the body's still missing, and everyone's just living their lives as they have been for the past 40 years. you start to see some of the kids, getting pegged off. And you think that it's because, again, at the beginning of this movie, 3 girls go missing, and you find out that they were essentially roofied by 3 football players and put in some abandoned location just as a joke. But, when people start to kind of kill off, there's suspicions. One thing that's different about this movie than the other 2 urban legend films is that this is very supernatural. The killer is after the children of the people who had brought all this ill will and misfortune to them. So you find out that Mary is comes back as Bloody Mary, that whole bit. And so you get the sort of backstory behind the idea of Bloody Mary and what all happened there. And the goal of the film, the central thesis, is, if you will, is to find Mary and take her to her final resting spot, That's more or less what the film ends up becoming. Again, the people who die in the movie are the descendants of those who had done her wrong. So, in the previous urban legend movies, when you see that it was somebody with a motive in some way, shape, or form doing all the killings, and this go around, it's a very supernatural story. It's a ghost story versus a revenge plot. So it's very different in that aspect. But it also lends itself to more creative, a bit of more creative storyline in the fact that, it's not a person per se doing all these murders. It's, a ghost getting their revenge, and rightfully so in some cases. I mean, it sucks that it's not necessarily the people who had done the wrong getting the punishment for it in the direct sense, but indirectly they know they had something taken away from them. So it's one of those things, and I don't want to spoil how the ending happens, anything like that. Just a central idea of what goes on in the movie. There was one good laugh involving an electric fence I enjoyed. There was a creepy spot in the film involving spiders. Not a fan of spiders myself, but yeah, it freaked me out, and it also leads you down a path to make you think that maybe something else is going on. Is it supernatural, or is it, some sort of witch-like chicanery? We don't know. Well, you find out at the end, but you'll have to watch it to find out. There's definitely some good parts in this movie. It's fun. Overall, though, I thought it to be very much like I don't want to say Lifetime original movie, but it had that very straight to TV vibe about it, and it wasn't a movie doesn't have to be big box office budget production. This one did very well with what it had, so I was glad to see that. I think the story flowed in a way that it didn't really draw me in as much as I had hoped, but it's one of those things that, again, with something that looks like it was straight to video or made for TV, it just wasn't everything I'd hoped it to be. Giving this film a rating 1 out of 5, I have to give it 2 stars. I enjoyed the movie. I don't think I'd ever have to watch it again. If somebody had it on and we were watching it, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll watch this. No big whoop. But I don't know if I would, maybe further on down the line, I'd throw it in just to kind of revisit it. But I don't think it's something I'm going to put on every year around Halloween. Again, good movie, some creative kills in it. So I definitely say check those out. There's an incident with a finger in the movie that, you'll see it. But all in all, it's nothing too crazy that I have to frequent back to. But again, good movie. And if you have seen it, let me know down in the comments below what you thought about it, because I'm sure there are some people out there that absolutely love this film. Wasn't necessarily for me, but I did find it enjoyable enough. So let me know down in the comments below if you've seen this movie, and if you have, what you thought about it. If you like this review, give it a thumbs up. And as always, thank you for stopping by. Always be good to one another, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, almost forgot this.